for a moment and then ask you all how the sound is. I've made some mic adjustments since I was on a little bit ago. So if you're catching this one only, know that there is a part one, which has a lovely interview with Zelda, who makes Welsh quilts in her private exhibit. But right now I am standing in front of the Best in Show winner. So I'm going to take a few minutes to just walk through the winning quilts and let you have a look at them and show you the labels and who made them and so forth. So let me know as you're tuning in how the sound is, okay? So let me turn the camera around. And here's our first Best in Show. So here's a look at the whole quilt, and then we'll zoom in at a few of the details. The applique elements are largely done by machine, as you can see there. The machine quilting is fairly detailed. And Simone, and I won't pronounce her last name because I'm sure I'll terrorize it. Melanie can hear me fine, and great, good, thank you for that. So as I go through the winning quilts, I will be sure and show the label in every one so that you can see who the maker is. Isn't that beautiful? And we'll walk past the middle. And by the way, the festival is going on as we speak, so there are lots of people around me, so I do not want to put them in the camera. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. So I'll get as good close-ups as I possibly can, but it will be just a smidge limited. So this is the final afternoon of the Birmingham Quilt Festival. And there is a lot of people. So that's that one. All right, now we're gonna walk past walls as we get to some of the other winners. Bear with me as I just make my way through folks. This one is Contemporary Quilts is the category, as you see, sponsored by Janome. There's one brief look at the whole quilt, and then we'll quickly have a look. And it's called Open to Interpretation. So that's who made this one. And let's just get a couple close-ups so you can kind of see the construction. It looks to me like it is machine applique as well, although it's not a buttonhole stitch. At least that I can see. But again, some intricate quilting, color matching of all the threads. And I'll move back and kind of walk past it so you can get the whole big picture view again. There it is, Open to Interpretation. Okay, moving on, and I'm seeing Denise and Diane and another Susan, Kim, good. I know in my hometown it's very early in the morning. Which could be the whole thing. This is a smaller piece, perhaps 36 inches from top to bottom, and it's called Orbit. So again, moving in for a close-up. The colored lines that are straight up and down, some of them are in the fabric, but it looks the orange and the yellow and the blue are quilting. But the fabric is a bit patterned too, so it's kind of difficult to see those details even from close-up. And there are folks viewing, and I'm trying to be careful and not get people in the camera that don't care to be while giving you a whole look at it. Sound is great, Susan Berry is saying. Good. Well, I messed around with my mics and I think got it more localized to catch my voice. Okay, love this one. It's not a lab coat anymore. By Janelle, and this is very three-dimensional. Can you see that? And every block in it is a little bit different. And it is a fairly large quilt. The squares, I would say, are 3 inches, each of them. Boy, the light on my camera, I don't know if you guys are seeing that, it vibrates in the camera. It's not doing that in real life. Maybe just because it's white, I'm not sure. Okay, moving on, we're gonna be getting some blank white walls again here. A few folks in the quilt show, I'm trying to be conscious of, again, of not filming them when they don't care to be. This is Group Quilts, Adults is the category. And this particular quilt or hanging is called Rust Collective by Beartown Patchworkers and Quilters. Let me see if I can zoom into some of this. And I would say this is made with silks. Try and show you some of that texture in the fabric. and perhaps hand dyed. I'm not sure. There's really no other details other than that little sign that I showed you. So we don't know very much about these quilts at all, or their story or their construction. There's a bit of hand stitching in this one, the overstitching with the X's. So quite a lot of detail and texture. Maybe you all know, when there's 3 panels, you call it a triptych. I don't know what you call it when there's 2 panels. But it's an installation of 2 panels. This one I love because it is young quilters made in a group. Let's look at the label first, and then I'll show you some of the details because it's quite fun. Under the Sea, Year 5-6, Belmont Grosvenor School. Look at some of these details. The fishes are 3-dimensional. They have buttons for eyes. They're caught in a net. Can you see how 3-dimensional that net is? Great choices of fabrics, I think. There's some embroidery in there. There's a bit of tooling, giving depth to the waves. Super fun. And moving again. I know you're getting a lot of white wall. Okay, why don't we turn it on me while I go around the wall? There's lots and lots of folks here too. So I'm truly trying to be respectful of all the people that are here. Okay, turning the camera again. Oops, I hit it twice. Sorry about that. So this category is art quilts. And this is probably 60 inches wide by about 50 top to bottom. So again, we'll look at the close-up of the tag and then of the quilt itself. And this was a judge's choice. And I'll pause for a minute so you can read her comments if you care to. Morning Fog. A very painterly quilt, the judge says. So at the top, looks again perhaps hand-dyed. Very beautiful gradations of color and a lot of machine quilting. And then the bottom has additional fibers in it as well. So that's some of the close-up of it, and I'll zoom back one more time. Isn't that beautiful? I'm sorry about the wobbly. I have no better answer for this, quite honestly. Oh, we have a white glove person showing us the backing of this one. So this is novice category, as you can see. Let's go have a look. Hand-stitched shibori. So it does not say if she did her own dyeing or not, so I can't tell you that. But there's a lot of beautiful stitching throughout. And this is a very large quilt. Oh, and hand quilting. Let me show you that too, along the sides. And all the sashing. Very, very beautiful. Step back to try to give you that whole look. I love the way she laid it out such that it looks kind of trip around the world-ish. It's a beautiful layout. Okay. And I don't know that I'm going to get all the winning quilts for you because they extend into long areas of the exhibition hall. And I know it's difficult to follow me when I'm moving about. So this category is traditional quilts. This also was a judge's choice. Like your alternative color choice for stained glass effect, calm and harmonious color choices. And Parterre by Sonia Higgs. Let's look at a couple of close-ups. This is incredibly detailed applique. Now, I'm not an applique expert, but I believe that is needle turn. Or some variation of, at least the edges are turned under. And it's hand-stitched. That much I know. So I'll walk across in front of it. Again, there's lots of people viewing, so I can't get a great full picture, full quilt view. There's just no space. Wait till you see this one. Two-person quilts is the category. Look at this. The detail in this is incredible, but let's look at the label first. Two halves make us whole. Claire and Talene. Okay, let's look at some of this detail. Of course, I'm a quilter, right? So look at the quilting. The feathers. And that feather border is about less than 3 inches wide at the widest point there where that shiny little jewel is. The quilt is all silk, so you're seeing the gloss on all these fabrics. Probably a Dupioni because it's quite textured. You see that? And I'll zoom back a little bit. I love the because in North America, you guys, is my data. Can only stay live for so long. Pictorial quilts, and you're just seeing the center here because, again, I'm trying not to capture people. There we go. Now I can move in. Little. She matters. See that beautifully detailed quilting, and as we get into the center, much more thread painting. And I can't move right in front of all the details, I'm sorry. But you're getting a sense of it. Isn't that incredible? All done with thread, all that dark shadowing and joining of those colors of fabric is all done with thread. And it's extended out into the background. This rainforest jungle look. Let me see if I can get the whole thing again. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? All right, just waiting a moment till there's space to move to the next one. Okay, again, you're going to get a white wall for a moment as we move around the corner. Oh, this is where we began. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to turn my camera back around and I'm going to stand in front of this lovely quilt. There we go. All right, I'm going to call it at that. I've been on for almost 13 minutes. And I only have so much data while I'm over here in Europe. But thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, this was part 2 of the Birmingham Quilt Festival. So if you missed the first one that I did about 45 minutes or so ago, catch that one too. That was a private tour of Zelda's Welsh Quilt exhibition. So catch that, and I look forward to seeing a few more quilts. I'm privileged to be getting a private small tour, I guess you would say, with one of the quilt judges, Paula Rafferty, in just a little while this afternoon. So I am, in fact, here with a group, with a tour. And so we are all getting an opportunity to tour around these winning quilts with Paula and hear from a judge's viewpoint what things they're looking for. And she's in the process of creating training for judges. So photographing these quilts and documenting, thought processes and their rubric for assessing them and those sorts of things. So I'm fascinated by that. So I look forward to that, and I've got to get on and keep up with my schedule. So thanks you guys for joining me, and I'll catch up with you again soon.